Hello and welcome to Just Ordinary People TV, the program where ordinary people share stories of their life's journey, the ups and downs, and the lessons they've learned along the way. On today's program, we meet Donna Short. Donna shares the love story of her and her late husband, Cliff Short, their ups and downs, his battle with alcoholism, and his final days. It's a story about love, commitment, and standing by the one you love for better or for worse.
I was going to Delaware State College, which is now Delaware State University.
Okay.
And my husband Cliff also went there.
Okay.
And there was a day that I was out with a friend, and he saw me walking through the student center.
Okay.
And he was sitting with another friend of mine, and he wanted to know who I was.
Okay.
Because he had never seen me before. So he sent her over. She came over and talked to me and said that he wanted to meet me, and I was telling her shh, 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 because I was with this other guy.
Oh, okay.
And so anyhow, she said he wanted to meet me, and I said, well, he could come up to my organic lab if he wanted to talk to me. So I was up there in my lab working, and he came up there and asked me to go out with him.
Okay.
And when I saw him, I couldn't believe he wanted to go out with me.
Why?
Because I thought he was so good looking. He asked me to go out with him, and I told him to call me in a couple days and I'd let him know.
Okay.
So we went out on a double date with two of his friends. Well, the girl was my friend, the one that told me about him, and the guy she went with was one of his friends. And so anyhow, we were out on this date, and he kissed me. We were in the back seat of the car, and he kissed me. And
Where did you go on your date?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I remember when he kissed me, Elvin Bishop's song, I Fooled Around and Fell in Love, was playing on the radio. And I swear that's exactly what happened. I mean, he kissed me and I was done.
Really?
I was like, oh my God.
This is it.
Yeah. And later he shared with me that night he told Steve, his friend, I'm going to marry that girl. We just could not be apart.
Okay.
You know, we had a really nice wedding. It was a little bit too big.
Okay. How many people?
Well, we invited 350. I know. We had a lot of people there. There was a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay.
We got married in October of 1981, and in July of 83 we had our first child.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was 27 when she was born.
Okay, and it was a wonderful experience?
Yes,
yeah.
yes, absolutely. And then in December of 85 we had our son. I don't think anybody truly understands the depth of those words. I mean, when you get married, I think they're actually just words.
Yeah.
Until you really learn what they mean, for better or for worse. As far as the for better, Cliff and I had such a good time together. And we had a lot of good friends, and we just had fun. You know, a lot of laughing, and we did things together, and we just had the best times. He got his real estate license. So he was a realtor with Burns and Ellis, and he worked with them for like 25 years. He was an excellent realtor. Unfortunately, he became an alcoholic, which definitely tested our lives, tested his life. It was a big struggle for him. I realized, things were becoming out of control, and he was having a hard time, maintaining control. I mean, he struggled. He didn't like where he was in his life. It was very hard for him. I mean, he got help several times. So, but we lived through it. He got to a point where it did affect his work, and then he decided to retire, and without my knowledge.
Okay. What age approximately did he decide that he didn't?
Probably around 2012.
Okay.
So, is when he quit working.
So how long were you a breadwinner for from 2012?
Until present.
Yeah.
Technically, he had a few jobs in between, that he did. He worked a couple places, but his heart wasn't in any of them. And so he eventually just stayed home, and he did the cleaning. He did all the laundry. He did all the cooking. And by that point, our kids were gone. So it was just him and me. So, I mean, he cooked so much that I actually forgot how to cook. I would come home and dinner would be ready. He kind of didn't want to go places anymore. And that was hard. He liked to stay home. And of course, I wanted to go out. And that was a difficult thing for the two of us. But he was happy to be home. The absolute worst was his diagnosis with brain cancer.
And when was this?
That was in September of 2016. So he was diagnosed with glioblastoma, which is an aggressive form of brain cancer. So we knew at that point that he was going to die. I mean, there was no question about it. It was just a matter of when. So, in May of 2017, so he really only lives 7 months after his diagnosis. And most of those months, especially the last 4, he was not himself. I mean, the beginning, he started losing his ability to communicate. Like certain words, he tried to say the words, but a different word would come out instead, and it wouldn't make any sense. And at first, we would laugh about it, because it was funny, because he was saying all these silly things. But then it got to the point where he couldn't communicate at all. That was very hard.
So what got you through the tough times?
The fact that I loved him so much. I really did.
And you still do.
I do.
Yeah.
I do very much. I miss him. And one of the things, after he was diagnosed, one of the things that we told each other was that we were thankful for what we had and thankful for what we have at that moment. And that's where we left it. Because the future wasn't going to be good, and we knew that. But we were thankful that we had each other
For the life
and for the life that we had. Even though it wasn't all good, it wasn't bad either. I mean, there were bad times and there was good times. And I think everybody goes through that. But, excuse me. we made a commitment to each other, and we both loved each other. And even though there were times where we might have thought about going our separate ways, neither one of us could do it. I mean, we loved each other too much. So somebody asked me once, because they knew of our trials and tribulations, and she said, Donna, why do you stay with him? And I said, because I love him. And that was the only answer I could give her, was that I love him. And I still do.
So do you have any regrets at all?
Well, this is kind of silly in a way, but yeah. I mean, now that I'm by myself and I'm taking care of all this stuff around here by myself, I remember, this is just an example, the grass seed. He always wanted to buy like Scott's grass seed, which is expensive, right? And I would be like, no, we can't spend that money. We need to get this kind because it's cheaper. Well, when I go out to buy grass seed, I think about that. Because I'm buying the grass seed for the yard now. I don't want to buy the cheap stuff. I want the good seed. And, you know, I was thinking, was it really all that important?
Why didn't you just let him have?
Right.
Yeah.
So that would be an example of something. It's not a big thing. But now I understand why he wanted what he wanted.
Now that you look forward, what does the future hold for Donna?
Hopefully, well, I have a new grandchild, my fourth granddaughter, which was born last week. So I have 3 grandchildren in Annapolis, and now I have 1 in Arizona. So my plan is to spend my time with my children and my grandchildren. And I have a bucket list of things. It's not all written down, but a lot of it's in my mind. Things I want to do, places I want to go, I want to travel. My newest thing is seeing Broadway plays. I just went to see Wicked a couple weeks ago, which I loved. I loved going to New York. I loved going up there to see it. I hadn't been to New York since 2008, except I did go in the fall. Right before Christmas I went. And checked off another thing on my bucket list was I wanted to ice skate at Rockefeller Center with the Christmas tree up. So I did that. So little by little I've been doing things that I've been wanting to do. And like I said, I stay busy because if I don't, you know, some days are bad. And people always comment how I'm never home. And I am home, but I'm also gone a lot. And I do that on purpose. Not just because I don't want to get depressed, but because there's things I want to do. I want to live. You know, I want to enjoy life because we don't know what the future is. Yeah.
So you're living life on purpose now.
I am. Yep. Every minute.
So somebody coming up, going maybe watching this, and tomorrow they're going to get married. What advice would you have for her?
Wow. I guess to love with all your heart. It's not always going to be easy. When you get married, you think You know, you're going to live in this nice house. You're going to have a family, you know, a good job. You don't know what's going to come your way. And you don't know what obstacles that you're going to have to deal with. And you need to be able to deal with them together and be strong and love one another. And it's not going to always be easy.
When Donna took the vow, for better or for worse, she meant that she was going to stick with Cliff no matter what, loving him with all her heart. What is for better or for worse to you? I'm Leslie in Kansabewa. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. If you or someone you know would like to appear on Just Ordinary People TV, please send us an email to justordinarypeopletv@gmail.com. Again, that's justordinarypeopletv@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. See you next time. If you like this program and would like to see more programs from Just Ordinary People TV, please like, subscribe, and leave us a comment below.